Welcome to today's varsity football game. It is the state championship. Your St. Christopher Saints facing the Benedictine Cadets, the 1 and the 2 seed. I'm here alongside Oliver Sabo. Should be a good matchup here.
Should be a great matchup. Benedictine 9-2 on the season. Saints 10-1. Both teams got great offenses. Should be a good game. It is a little bit windy here, so we'll see how that affects the passing game, but I'm thinking most of the play stays on the ground.
And it's an onside kick here early, and Harwell Harrison will scoop it up and take a knee. Great starting field position for the Saints. Not sure if Benedictine was just squibbing that to keep it away from the returner or if it came out wrong, but nevertheless, Saints will start off at their own 35-yard line.
Certainly an odd play, first play of the game, if that was intentional.
So out trots Gil Williamson. He split time with O'Farrell throughout the season, but an injury to O'Farrell has made Williamson the permanent starter. In the backfield is senior running back Hayden Forrest, a 3-year starter in this varsity football team.
So we're going to see the run game early here. Benedictine's got a pretty good D-line. It's probably the strongest part of their
First
team.
one is complete to Nigel Green out in the flat, and Green breaks a tackle. Stiff arm to Eddie Jackson, and that's good for a first down. So finding Nigel Green early, Saints pass first.
Yeah, talking to the players this week, they really wanted to exploit that secondary. It's not the strongest part of their team.
Benedictine's defensive line is probably one of the best in the state.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
They've got great athletes there, and they've also got incredible depth. So if anybody has to get a breather or if anybody's out with injuries, you've got another guy to plug in. This is Williamson, complete to Tazwell. That's a loss of about 3. Wow, he breaks out of it. Tazwell just broke out of it. There was about 3 guys around him. Somehow spun out of it and is able to get back to the line of scrimmage. That was impressive.
Yeah, Tazwell's been great this season, breaking those tackles off the screens. Should see more of that today.
Tazwell missed last week the semifinal against Fuma, recovering from a concussion he suffered the week prior to that.
Yeah, they do have depth at wide receiver position. A lot of height between Andre and Nigel Green.
Forrest is split out wide. It'll be a screen to him. And Forrest takes it for about 6. Reed Terry was in at tight end on the play.
Walker Wallace was the player of last week's game. Stepped in nicely for Will Tazwell. Had 3 touchdowns and over 100 yards.
This is Forrest, and he's hit immediately in the backfield. And breaking tackles is Forrest, but just absolutely swarmed by the Cadets' defensive line. And no result there. I mean, they got through immediately. Forrest is hit before he even has the ball.
Yeah, we're going to need to see the O-line step up today for the Saints. They got out to a slow start last week, but came in pretty strong in the second half. So
out trots the punt team. This is Jack Sewers on the punt. And play is blown dead. So flag is waved off. And Benedictine's not going to change their return man. So
hopefully that's one of the only waved flags we see today, as last week it was a problem.
And that's a great punt from Sewers. Bounces at the 13 and will take a nice roll down to the St. Christopher's 5-yard line.
There is a flag down. Great pump by Sewers, though.
Flag is down around the Benedictine 37.
Seems to be on the Saints. Oh, Cadets holding.
Yeah, holding the return team there. I believe they got one of our gunners.
So Benedictine working with nothing here. Gonna have to try to get it out of their own side of the field.
At the helm for Benedictine's offense is junior quarterback Jay Wolfick, but he's had a troubled season, recovering from a knee injury, I believe, and just back last week to defeat Trinity. And swallowed up quickly, nothing there. Henry Dolan for the Cadets is able to get nothing.
Yeah, back to Wolfick. He exploded last week. 6 touchdowns. 3 of those rush touchdowns, if I'm correct. So he's a threat.
He's got offers for baseball and football. Incredible athlete, and he can run without a doubt. And another flag here early. I believe it's going to be a false start. It will be, so that'll back him up half the distance to the goal line.
We gotta zoom in.
So 2nd and 12 from their own 1-yard line. Cadets are backed up here. And they'll give it to Dolan again up the middle. And Dolan's able to get about 5 there. Good gain there.
It will be 3rd and about 7. So they're going to have to work here.
On the far side of the field is Leon Houghton, matched up against defensive back Teddy Dangard. Houghton has had a good year as well. Had a couple games with over 100 yards receiving. He's definitely a threat when Wolfick decides to throw. Wolfick will drop back. He's going to roll out right. And thrown down in the backfield. Sacked is Wolfick.
It's Matt Grant on the sack.
Sophomore defensive back, Matt Grant. He's been great this year. Broke the St. Chris career
Interceptions.
Yeah, St. Chris, interceptions in a season record at 8. Council is right behind him at 7.
I think another thing worth mentioning today is the crowd. It's certainly going to be a factor. About 2,000 people here were expected, so it's loud, and that's
yeah, I've been here for 13 years or 14 years. Never seen this many people at Knowles Field ever. Punt is away. Back to receive is Forrest. It's over his head and takes a favorable bounce for the Cadets. About a 15-yard bounce there almost. And it'll be down at the 34-yard line. So impressive stop there. Great start for the Saints defense, allowing nothing.
Yeah, both teams have great defenses, so we'll see. Not expecting a huge scoring game, but you never know.
Tazwell comes in motion. And Williamson will throw to Tazwell. And that's complete for a first down. But the ball's on the ground. Tazwell fumbled at the end there.
Looks like he fell on it, but we'll see. A couple guys on top.
Yeah, ref's going to say he was down. They were waving it off, but bit of a scrum there at midfield. Refs are going to say that Tazwell was down by contact prior to fumbling that. So Saints will retain possession here.
Trent Hendrick in the backfield, honored this past week with all prep.
And they'll fake it to Hendrick and throw to Nigel Green, who drops it. Hit him right in the chest.
Unusual sight from Nigel Green. Usually brings those ones in.
So 2nd and 10 now. Reed Terry is now in the game. They've used him at tight end and a fullback.
Yeah, he's a great blocker.
At the beginning of the season, it was just on the I form. They'd put him in there on the 1 yard line just to pound the ball in the end zone, but they developed their offense now where they're using him at tight end and on some kick out routes. This is Hendrick, and good block from Terry to seal the edge. And Hendrick is still going. He'll be short about 3 yards, but 7-yard rush there from Trent Hendrick. Terry remains in the game, as does Hendrick. Saints like to cycle their running backs. We've seen Kavanis, Forrest, and Hendrick all in the backfield this year for the Saints.
Worth noting, all linebackers, so they all playing both sides of the ball.
Tazewell comes in motion. They'll fake the handoff to Hendrick. Williamson rolls out right, looking for Andre Green, deep, incomplete over his head. So that'll bring up 4th down, and look like the Saints are going to punt.
Yeah, that throw is a little over Andre Green's head.
Interesting play call to be throwing it deep on 3rd and short there, but
Yeah, they had success with Trent. I would have just gone with it again, but I like to see Gill taking shots.
another good punt from Jack Sewers. Harrison and McCoy are down there, and that one's gonna be down at the 1 yard line. Looks like the half-yard line. Great stuff from St. Christopher's special teams.
I'll keep Coach Van Arsdale happy.
Those are 2 phenomenal punts by Jack Sewers. And it makes it a lot easier on the defense when Benedictine has to start off in their own end zone.
Absolutely. Saints defense hoping for another great stop on the goal line like they did last drive.
So Mianville Ayo will be playing corner today. Council and Grant at the safety positions. This is Wolfick. He's going to tuck it and run, but Forrest is there. And Hayden Forrest brings down Wolfick immediately. Only able to get about half a yard, brings up to the 1 yard line. That's going to be a big factor today, is whether or not their linebackers can keep up with Wolfick.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a rough game last week, but so far early they've looked good. Jeff Moore, Hayden Forrest leading the pack.
Saints are in a stacked box here. Matt Grant is up into the box, so no safety help over the top. Council will help on the right side. Wolfick will look to throw, and over his head, Damgard was there for coverage, and a flag comes in late. Pass is intended for Nicholas Turner. They're going to be calling a penalty here on Teddy Damgard. It was over the head of Turner, looked almost uncatchable, but perhaps that's due to Damgard's holding. We'll see what the call is. Could be defensive holding, or I believe it's going to be defensive holding. The ball had not arrived, and it really was uncatchable, so, and it is defensive holding. So tough break there for the Saints. It will move the Cadets off their own 1 yard line.
Yeah, that wasn't a great ball. It was about 5 yards over the receiver.
So Saints expecting a run, and it is a run to Dolan. Dolan's able to get about 3. call it 2. Brought down just shy of the 20-yard line. One of the biggest factors today is going to be that Saints linebacker core and containing Jay Wolfick.
Yeah, when he gets space, he finds a hole, he can really take it.
And Cadets will hand it off again, but he's swallowed up immediately. Nothing there. And now it's Hank Filer, looks like, on the tackle alongside Caleb Bay.
Hank Fowler been one of the quieter presences on defense this season.
Yeah, Filer doesn't get a whole lot of credit, but thankfully was named all prep for being an athlete. Morris lines up over the A-gap. He's blitzing. Wolfick. Oh, this is Dolan. No, excuse me, this is Wolfick, sorry.
Oh.
And he's brought down.
That's Garnet Nelson. Nelson had a good game last week. Couple hits on the QB. And there we see him again.
So 4th and 8, Cadets will punt. Hayden Forrest is back again for the Saints. And punt is almost blocked by Cavanis. Forrest fields it at the 45. He bobbles it, picks it up, and cuts back upfield. Pushed out around the 43-yard line, and a late hit comes in. There has to be a flag, and there is. Late hit on Forrest on the St. Chris sideline. And St. Chris needs to be careful not to get involved.
Yeah, this is going to be a choppy game today.
That was good
Benedictine.
by offensive line coach Clark Miller getting in between St. Christopher's sideline and the Cadets.
Yeah, you don't want any of that here in that championship game.
And no one's going to challenge Clark Miller, you know, on the St. Chris sideline. He's a good guy to have break it up. So
Yeah.
personal foul for unnecessary roughness on the Cadets. Forrest was out of bounds and took a very late hit to the head. He's going to take a seat on the bench, catch his breath. And the Saints are going to have great starting field position at Benedictine's 25-yard line. So promising starting field position. You think maybe you just get a couple yards here, and Sears has incredible range. We see him over at the kicking net now.
Mm-hmm. And Nikos Cavanis in at running back.
So a third running back we've already seen today, only at the 4th minute here in the first. And this is Cavanis running out to the left side. And Cavanis is able to get about 6 there.
Tough run from Cavanis. Nice job falling forward, getting that extra yardage.
We've been saying that this sophomore class of the Saints is very impressive. Nikos Cavanis, Andre Green, Trent Hendrick, Matt Grant, all those guys are made great contributions to this team this year.
Yeah, certainly.
And this is Williamson. He'll look to throw, and he's hit as he throws, but complete to Tazwell.
Wow. Wobbly throw brought in by Tazwell, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, Daughtry was back there for the Cadets, right in Williamson's face, and Williamson's able to loft one right along the sideline to Will Tazwell. 1st and goal, Saints.
So we'll see. Last week they didn't really use that I formation that worked so well this season on the goal line.
I see Hendrick. This is it. I've never seen this. Hendrick, Forrest, and Cavanis are all in the game.
Wow.
Look like they're going to be running the Wildcat. Forrest will take the snap, and he hands it off to Cavanis with a block from Hendrick. We've never seen that. We've also got Jeff Moore in there blocking. This is an interesting formation. All 3 running backs are in the game.
Yeah, Jeff Moore, you never really see him on it. He used to play a little bit of offense, but
And Forrest has to come out of the game. That's an equipment issue. Looks like he had some tape coming off of his arm, so that'll get wrapped up.
I do like head coach Lance Cullen trying out some new stuff here in this championship game.
You have to assume that Benedictine's seen the majority of the film from the season. They've probably seen every package, so developing something new is always a good idea. This is Hendrick. Williamson will throw, though, into the end zone. It's incomplete.
It's looking for Nigel Green.
That was Eddie Jackson on the coverage.
Ball was a tiny bit too high.
So it'll be 3rd and goal from the Cadets' 5-yard line. A little far to be running, so we'll see what they try here. This is Hendrick in the backfield, trips out right for the Saints. Tazewell Wallace and Andre Green are out right. Nigel Green by himself on the left. And Williamson's gonna look to throw. Back of the end zone and out of bounds. So Saints are gonna have to kick here.
Ball was intended for Will Tazewell, but I'm not sure it even landed in the end zone.
Cadets had pressure on Williamson as well. I think that's the right throw there. Out of bounds, let your kicker come on and hopefully get 3 instead of forcing something in the end zone.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a little windy today. See how.
Very
Sears
windy.
does. Yeah.
So this will be a 22-yarder from Sears. He's been great from close all season. And he puts it through. So Saints are up 3, 2:47 remaining in the first quarter.
Punches it in there and gets some points on the board early.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, this crowd is definitely going to be a factor today. I mean, there has never been this many people at Knowles Field, probably
No.
ever. It's packed.
Yeah, Benedictine student section on the other side this time. That's a little bit of a change.
They travel well.
They do. As you said last week, Benedictine played Trinity. Blew them off the field.
Yeah, Wolflick had, I believe, 5 touchdowns. I think 2 of which were on the ground, maybe 3. So Cotman is back for the Cadets. Sears will kick this one away. And a great kick from Sears and fielded in the end zone, so he won't be able to run it back. We talked about this a little bit last week. Sears' ability to put the ball through the end zone is almost underappreciated. I mean, it's in high school sports where the differential of athleticism is so great. Differential of speed, really, is so great. The kickoff can be a nightmare for a lot of teams because one guy can be so much faster than the rest of everybody else out there. So when you're able to put it through the end zone and prevent any return, that's got great value.
Yeah, we even saw it last week. Sears had one off punt, and it was returned for the touchdown. So really valuable part of this team.
This is Wolfick. He's going to tuck it and run, but he's brought down in the backfield by the Saints defensive line.
Trent Hendrick got there. He's been great at shooting the gap, getting into the quarterback. That's a great play by Trent Hendrick.
I think he came around the edge. I think he came on the right side.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
I think he might, yeah, a big gap maybe, and was able to chase down Wolfick. Which is pretty impressive considering Hendricks, I think, got to be at least 200 pounds, right? I mean, he's
Yeah.
pretty big, but doesn't hurt his speed at all. And Filer just jumped off, but they missed it. So 2nd and 12. Play clock is diminishing. 3 seconds left. Cadets have to get the snap off, and they don't. Looks like Benedictine coach Greg Lilly will call his first timeout. And there we just saw it again. Saints crowd really getting into it, making it loud, hard to hear out there.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that was. I'm sure the crowd was a factor, though.
I'm not sure if the center just couldn't hear Wolfick or what was happening.
Looked like Wolfick was looking over the sideline. Not sure though. That will hurt them though.
So Saints got all their linebackers pushed up against the line of scrimmage. They'll all blitz, and they're going deep. And it's brought in. Nicholas Turner just burned Mina Velea. That's a huge gain for Benedictine.
Yeah, big throw for Wolfick. He dropped it right in there.
And that's kind of the risk you got to play. I don't think they had safety help with Matt Grant.
No.
I believe he was in the box, helping out with the run game maybe. And that's a risk you're going to have to take.
Yeah, Meehan just a couple steps off. That's a slip up.
And this is Wolfick on a QB keeper. He's able to get about 3, but Jeff Moore is there for the stop.
Wolfick on the keeper, gain of 4. Tackled by Jeff Moore, bringing him 2nd and 6.
So Nick Turner comes in motion now. And Wolfick looks confused, looking at Coach Greg Lilly for maybe a change of play. There's 5 seconds left on the play clock.
Yeah, second time this drive now.
2, 1. They get the snap off. Wolfick throws over the middle. Pass is complete and brought down just around the 6-yard line by Matt Grant.
Not sure.
That was Christian Dunn, the tight end, over the middle.
Wolfick's pass complete over the middle to number 4, Christian Dunn.
Yeah, there's nobody there up top.
Dunn just ran a simple post and beat the Saints. Might have been in cover 2, so that might have been the soft spot of that defense.
Again, took forever to get the ball off.
And Cadets will keep it here, and into the end zone is Wolfick. So Cadets are able to cash in here with 31.7 remaining in the first quarter.
Nice drive there, put together by Wolfick. He's straight in for that touchdown.
Yeah, it was really composed of 2 big throws.
Mm-hmm.
The first to Nick Turner, beating of LA along the sideline, and then second to Dunn, the tight end over the middle on a post route. Siegler puts it through.
So Benedictine takes the lead. 30 seconds left in the first. Saints going to take the field here in a minute, look to respond.
Yeah, so on that tight end post route to Dunn, about 12 seconds left. Coach Greg Lilly called in a different play to Wolfick. They changed the play, maybe saw Saints blitzing. They definitely had their linebackers up against the line of scrimmage. So it might have been an audible to that post route over the middle. Wolfick or Lilly saw something and resulted in a big gain, setting them up at the 5-yard line. So Siegler is on for the Cadets to kick this one away. Back deep for the Saints is Forrest and Cavanas. And yet again, it's a squib kick. And fielded by McCoy. And he's brought down around the 32.
Yeah, it's a little odd to see those squibs.
I think they're worried about Forrest back there for the Saints. He's got great speed and just refuses to go down. He's the strongest guy on the team. despite not being over 6 foot. I mean, he's just a beast.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get as much recognition in that all prep poll.
Williamson's pass incomplete. 10 for Wallace. We have 2nd and 10.
So 2nd and 10 now. Trips out right for the Saints. Nigel Green is by himself. Tazzle comes in motion. And it's fumbled snap. Looks like they tried to do a fake handoff to Forrest. And Williamson lost it on the ground.
Yeah, during the week, I heard back to the wide receivers, the DBs play pretty far back. Nigel Green had about 8 yards there between him and the defensive back. Number 10, Will Garbett.
So that's the end of the first quarter. We'll take a break as they switch sides. So we're back now for the start of the second quarter. Benedictine has 10 rushes for 11 yards, but 73 through the air. Wolfick is 2 for 2, 73 yards, and 1 touchdown on the ground. Nick Turner and Christian Dunn both have a reception for 39 and 34 yards respectively. Terry's in at tight end. They'll fake the handoff to Cavanis. It's a slip screen to Cavanis, but off his hands. Cadets were really all over that. They read that perfectly.
Yeah, that wouldn't have gone anywhere had he caught it. They were right on him.
Lance Clellan loves to run the slip screen here. And looks like the Cadets read that one. So 4th and 14, Saints have to punt. Cadets are still bringing guys on as the ball is snapped. And caught him on the 37 and then brought down.
Nice tackle from Joe Brennan, SID captain.
That was Cotman on the reception there. Returns it for about 3.
What was handled by Cotman at the 40-yard line. Brought down by Joe Brennan. We go 1st down for the Cadets.
So a quick drive there for the Saints. We'll do better than that. And Wolfick will take the field again.
They'll give it to Dolan. Dolan bounces it outside, and that's good for about 3.
Henry Dolan on the carry.
Council was in there on the tackle.
Brooks Council on the tackle.
So Saints have been pretty good against Cadets' run game thus far. Not allowing much.
Yeah, a couple slip-ups in the secondary are really the only problems the defense have had.
This is Wolfick, and a flag comes in. That's going to be a holding on Filer. And they're still trying to bring down Wolfick. And Filer gets him.
Wow.
So Filer was back there initially for Wolfick on the sack. He gets held down to the ground, gets up, and then brings down Wolfick again. Filer was off to a quick start here.
Yeah, I'm surprised how fast they're getting to Wolfick. That's really the biggest problem that they had to deal with this week. Hopefully they'll continue that.
And Clellens looks like he'll decline the holding penalty.
Wise decision.
Would prefer to have third down and long rather than second and long. So 3rd and 16 now. Trips out left for the Cadets. Wolfick throws out quickly on a screen pass. And still trying to bring him down. He's pushed out of bounds. Be a loss of about 1 maybe.
Yeah, he bobbled that ball, it looked like.
It was Leon Houghton on the reception. So I'm not sure if Cadets were expecting more blocking there, but didn't even get past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he looked tough to bring down, though. They had to get a couple guys on him. And they'll set up the punt.
Forrest sets up around the 20-yard line. This is Siegler to kick. And Forrest catches it around the 30-yard line. And not much blocking. He's swallowed up quickly there around the 23.
Looked to me like a block in the back on Matt Grant, but it was not called.
So Hendrick returns in the backfield for the Saints. Terry will come in motion. Handoff is to Hendrick. And gain of about 1 there. Williamson is 5 for 10 for 50 yards passing. Tazewell leads the Saints in receiving, 3 receptions, 29 yards. And probably most impressive, Jack Sewers has 2 punts for 91 yards. That's an average of 45 and a half. And both of those were pinned inside the 20-yard line.
Looks like he found Nigel Green there for a couple yards. It'll be 3rd down and about 3.
Terry will stay in the game. He'll line up to the left of Jeb Wickham at tight end. Handoff is to Hendrick. And Hendrick was tackled right at the sticks.
That's
Brought
going
down
to
to
be
35.
close.
Let's see what they give him. It's going to be, they might have to measure here. The first down was at the 35, and he was brought down. They spotted him at the 35 as well, so either going to be 4th and inches or they'll give it to him. We'll see. They won't give it to him. It's going to be 4th and inches.
Offense will stay on the field, though. And they got it.
So I'm not sure why
Don't know
they
what.
didn't even measure. They just decided after 2 minutes they were going to give it to him. So Saints won't have to go for it. They'll give him the first down. Wallace comes in motion. Williamson will roll out right, finds Wallace immediately. And good block from Tazwell. And Wallace fumbles it. Ball is put on the ground by Wallace.
And it didn't look like he was down.
He wasn't down. It's recovered by Nick Neighbors.
That hurts for the Saints. Tried to evade a tackle and ball popped out as he was falling down.
So Cadets will start off on the Saints' 47-yard line after a fumble by Wallace. And they'll fake the handoff. Wolfick's going to try to run, but he's brought down by Forrest. And then a late hit on Forrest again. Yet another late hit. Hayden Forrest has suffered 2 late hits. That time it was
Hunter Porterfield, that's egregious.
I mean, that should be, they should be considering ejection there. That was, Forrest was laying on his stomach. About maybe 15 seconds after the play concluded, Porterfield comes in with a cheap shot to the back of Forrest's head.
That's awful. There's no place for that in high school football.
Forrest is such a tough kid. We've seen him take all these late hits, and
Looks like they threw him out.
I think Porterfield just, yeah, like I said, it was an ejectable offense, and I think Porterfield's been ejected. Either he's been ejected or Greg Lilly's going to pull him out. I believe it's the latter. I think Coach Lilly's just going to pull Porterfield out because doesn't want him getting involved anymore. And Lilly's a very respectable coach, former Marine. He knows how the game's supposed to be played, and that's certainly not it. So he'll pull Porterfield out of the game. Forrest's such a tough kid. He takes all these late hits and dirty hits, but you always see him get back up and get right back into the huddle.
Yeah.
And Dolan goes in motion. They'll fire it out to the right side, and Kavanas is there. Cadets are getting nothing.
Saints defense came to play today.
That one was complete on a screen to Tennyson. They sent Dolan, the running back, in motion for a block, but Kavanas read it perfectly and brings down Tennyson. So it's third down and half the field, as Wayne McDermott, the PA announcer, has just said. This is loud environment here. Damgard presses. They're going to look his way, but Wolfick will end up just throwing it. It's picked off by Jeff Moore. This is senior linebacker Jeff Moore. The interception brought down around the 16-yard line. It was a flag down on the play. Could be holding. Could be. It looks like it is going to be holding, but it's on the Cadets. It's declined, and that'll be an interception by Jeff Moore.
Yeah, Wolfick with the pressure, he threw it to nobody. Jeff Moore was the only guy out there. That's huge for the Saints.
And Jeff Moore gets a turnover belt. So great starting field position, courtesy of the Saints defense. Yeah, Wolfick was that was just desperation, trying to get rid of it under a lot of pressure, and just kind of, I guess, was trying to throw it away to prevent the sack, but Moore is there to pick off the wild pass and return it down to the 16-yard line. And here we see Andre Green by himself out to the right side. The Saints love going to him when they're inside the red zone. They'll fake to Forrest, and they're looking in Green's direction, and he's tripped up. He'll go down in the end zone, so that'll be incomplete. They had safety help over the top.
I think we're good on the Zoom. That's pretty good.
It's fine. It's fine.
So 2nd down and 10 here. Saints looking to convert. A great defensive turnover.
Tazewell comes in motion. They'll fake the handoff to Forrest, and it's intercepted. Wrestling forward is Wallace, and looks like it's Henry Dolan on the pick. The Cadets running back.
Yeah, that wasn't a very smart pass. Williamson about to go down. He just intended for Walker Wallace, but he missed him completely. And that stings for the Saints.
Yeah, they gave Dolan the touchback, which is interesting. I guess the
Yeah.
rule is that if your momentum carries you into the end zone, then it is a touchback. You just, I don't know, it looks like he caught it about 2 yards prior to that, so bit of flexibility on that call. So Saints offense sours the great starting field position and puts the defense right back on the field. And big hole at the middle.
That's Antonio Cotman.
Looks like Dolan might be getting a breather after that interception. So Cotman will be in the backfield for the Cadets.
So that's the first sizable run we've seen from Benedictine.
And they'll try it again here. This time it's stopped, able to only get about three or four there. Brought down around the 35-yard line.
2nd about 7 yards.
And again to Cotman. He spins out of a tackle from Moore. And then extracurricular over there, Teddy Damgard just got wrapped up with Nick Turner.
Yeah, it's gonna get a little chippy today.
It's gotten pretty chippy
We've
already.
seen it a couple times.
There's bad blood between Benedictine and St. Chris. It's a historic rivalry between these two schools. And we've already seen 2 late hits from Benedictine. St. Chris has remained disciplined. Not sure how long that will last. It's hard to when they're taking cheap shots at your own guys. This is 3rd and about 4. And they'll give it, Wolfick will keep it. And Wolfick's able to get the first down. Brought down around the 48-yard line. Looked like a bit of a read option there
Yeah,
with
I think
Cotman.
it was.
And Wolfick decided to keep it and gets the first down. So Wolfick fakes it to Cotman. And then
It goes to Cotman.
it looks like the Saints defense was very confused there.
Yeah, starting to let up a little bit.
Second and 3 now. Cotman remains in the game. They'll give it to him now, and that's good for a first down and then some. He's still going. He's got blockers, but he's tripped up. Looks like he might have just tripped on his own shoelace there.
When
He had blockers and a lot of room, but lost his bounce, goes down.
and Cotman's looking like the feature back here for the Cadets.
Yeah, he's seeing a lot more success than Dolan was, so maybe they're going with the hot hand, but we do see Dolan now in the game, giving Cotman a breather. And it's a flea flicker to Wolfick, looking for room, and gets back to the line of scrimmage. He tried to tuck it and run, but Forrest was there.
Wolfick's been great at missing those tackles. He's showing great patience in the pocket.
He's really impressive at maneuvering and finding his way, just working the pocket and buying time. So good coverage there not to bite on the run from the Saints secondary. Those flea flickers are a nightmare sometimes. Dunn comes in motion and wrapped up quickly is Dolan.
Joe Sullivan with the initial hit. Junior linebacker.
So 3rd and 10. Cadets send on Will Garbett in the slot. And it's a high snap. And the Saints bring him down.
Garnet Nelson again.
I'm not sure if it was a high snap or if it was just unexpected. But I think it was unexpected. I think it hit Wolfick almost in the face, and then Dolan had to grab it out of the air and then brought down for a 7-yard loss.
Yeah, Trent Hendrick and Garnet Nelson got back there quick.
So we saw Porterfield get pulled out of the game. I'm not sure if he went back in, but or what position he was playing. Maybe he was playing center, and there might be miscommunication there, or maybe it's just too loud. Stiegler will punt this one away. Forrest is back for the Saints. And he's going to let it bounce. And it's down at the 10-yard line. So 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the first half.
It's going to be a huge drive for the Saints offense. Try to get some points on the board before the half.
Yeah, we've seen already 2 turnovers. Previous drive was a pick from Williamson in the red zone. And then before that, a fumble by Wallace around the 50-yard line. And this one is complete quickly to Tazwell and gets out of bounds.
Dove for the first down, and he'll...
I'm not sure if they're going to give it to him. It looked like Larry Fitzgerald out there reaching for the pylon.
Yeah, and whoa, that's a
terrible spot.
Bad spot.
Yeah, really, that's not even close. I guess the ref's going to claim that his foot was out prior to diving, but he's 3 yards shy.
Yeah, that's questionable.
2nd and 3. They'll throw out quickly now. And this is complete. This is Nigel Green still going, able to get down to the 38-yard line.
Wow, great catch and run from Nigel Green. A bunch of yards after contact.
Yeah, Green hasn't seen a lot of targets this season, but as of late, he's been getting a lot more targets and able to turn that one for a big gain.
45-yard gain and another first down.
Poor tackling from the Cadets secondary.
Yeah, that is their weakness on this defense.
Tazwell's in the slot, and play is blown dead. Flag.
Might be a sideline warning.
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
Clellan was not happy with...
Yeah, it came from the official closest to the Saints sideline. And now the head official is talking to Clelland.
Yeah, he's giving the sideline ref some words. Not sure about what. And he's not letting up.
Cullen's still talking to the head official.
Another wave flag. Clellan pleaded his case and he got it.
So 1st and 10 from the Cadets' 40-yard line. Cavanis in the backfield for the Saints. They'll fake it to him. Williamson rolls out right and finds Wallace.
There's nobody there.
Wallace had a lot of room, and Williamson overthrows. Would have been for sure a touchdown. Nothing but room for Wallace. One minute and 50 seconds remaining in this first half. And good blitz pickup from there from Nikos Cavanis, but Williamson has to get rid of it. And it's almost brought in by Andre Green. Nick Turner was there on the coverage. Nick Turner did not break that up. It was almost brought in one-handed by Andre Green. Turner made a motion as if he had defended it. He had not. Andre Green dropped it.
Surprisingly good pass from Williamson under duress.
Yeah, Malik James for the Cadets was screaming after Williamson. So 3rd and 10. See what the Saints draw up here. Williamson will roll out right. Good bits pick up from Cavanis again, but this one is just thrown out of bounds.
Yeah, not sure what that play was.
So 3 straight throws. I understand that there's limited time, but at some point you got to settle and run.
And it's going to be a big. It's like a 4.
Yeah, Williamson's going to be the one punting here. And it's actually a great punt from Gil Williamson.
He looked like it touched a cadet.
Yeah, Saints crowd claiming that it touched a cadet.
I think I saw that too.
I didn't see it. I don't know. I wasn't.
Regardless,
I was in awe at Williamson's punt. I mean, that was from the 45-yard line, and he just pinned it on the 1. So both Sears and Williamson have been incredible today punting.
So Wolfick will try to do something here at the 1-yard line.
He's at a minute 25 to go 99 yards. I wouldn't put it past him. And this is handed off at the middle to, looks like Dolan. He's brought down around the 9-yard line. 2nd and 2.
Who gets ball second?
And they're not snapping it. The clock is running down. Wolfick taking his time.
He's got over 10 seconds.
And they hand it off to Dolan, who's brought down in the backfield. I'm confused why Cadets are just going to, I guess, just run out the half.
Loss of 2 yards. Nikos Cavanis and Trent Hendricks, the first to get to him. 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5. Saints could call a timeout if they wanted to get the ball back. Looks like Cullen's going to let it run out.
He's giving an earful to the ref again. I'm confused as to why there was no timeout.
Yeah, Cullen could have called a timeout, gotten the ball back. He would have had it around midfield with probably around 30 seconds left.
But that will be the half.
So we'll be back. Cadets will receive to start off the second half. Stay tuned. We are back for the second half of action. Saints are trailing by 4 to the Benedictine Cadets. Some halftime stats for you guys. Jay Wolfick is 5 for 6, 82 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. He threw an interception as well. Nicholas Turner and Christian Dunn lead the Cadets in receiving. Both still have 1 reception for 39 yards, and Dunn has a reception for 34 yards. Hendrick has 3 rushes for 11 yards. Williamson has 9 for 20, 1 interception, and 117 yards. And this one's gonna be returned. And a lot of space is Tennyson. Out of bounds around the 50-yard line, and that's
That's
what
too
we were
much.
talking about earlier in the first half. Is if you don't put the ball in the end zone, it becomes a logistical nightmare on special teams because large differential of speed, as we just saw there with Dylan Tennyson, just ran that kick back 50 yards, setting the Cadets up with great field position.
All right, so Benedictine offense taking the field once again. Wolfick had a couple of lengthy passes in the first half. That's what a majority of his yardage is off of.
And this is Dolan, but Jeff Moore is there. Defensively, Gary Siegler, Joel Starlings, Joel Starlings, and Christian Dunn all have 3 tackles. Hendrick, Garnett Nelson, Caleb Bay, and Jeff Moore all have 4. This is Dolan again at the middle, and Hendrick is there meeting Dolan. And
Stuffed. It's going to be a loss of. There is. Oh.
it's 3rd and 5 now. So 2 consecutive runs by Dolan. First stop by Moore, second stop by Hendrick.
You got a considerable amount of forward progress there.
And it's a high snap, but Wolfick fields it, and he's still escaping the pocket. Flag is down, and
Nearly picked by Teddy Damgard.
a late hit. And now it's Damgard getting hit late. That's going to be a flag on the Cadets.
That's going to be ejection. That was a thrown punch, if I'm correct.
Yeah, because we control that.
That is awful.
Was it a punch or was it a shove to the head?
It was either.
It was Nick Turner, number 8, right?
Yeah, it was. It was
I
at the
wasn't even-
face mask.
I thought it was. I thought I saw 2 hands, a shove to the head of Teddy Damgard. Let's see if they eject him or not.
I think that warrants an ejection. We'll see, though. That was blatant.
I mean, at some point they need to make a statement because we've seen 3 straight personal fouls in Benedictine. St. Chris hasn't retaliated, but at some point you're going to have to start protecting your own guys. So it was holding on Benedictine and then a personal foul.
And is he out or?
I don't think so. It looks like they're not going to throw him out, which is disappointing because you need to make a statement at this point. You've seen
I think you're
3
exactly
straight
right.
personal fouls. At this point, you're not disciplining anybody, and the game's got out of hand at this point because you can only allow so much, and at some point the Saints are going to lash back. They've turned the other cheek 3 times now, but
Yeah, you got to give huge credit to the Saints for keeping their composure. This is a.
and I'm sure this is what Coach Cullen is talking about right now with the officials. They're letting the game get out of hand at this point by not disciplining anybody.
Yeah, a game like this with so many emotions.
You got to make a statement early, and it's honestly it's disappointing to see that nothing's been happened yet.
So the holding is declined. And it'll bring up a 4th down.
So Cullen declines a holding penalty.
Gives them the 4th.
Oh, true. It would have been a repeat 3rd
Oh,
down.
okay.
Just to recap that. That was about 5 minutes ago. Wolfick was running around the pocket, threw one deep for, I believe it was Nick Turner. Danbard was there on the coverage, almost picked it off. Wolfick threw into double coverage. I think Council and Danbard were back there. Danbard should have picked it off. And then after the play concluded, took a cheap shot from Nicholas Turner, which he was flagged for. And we're still yet to resume play here. And Benedictine coach Greg Lilly is arguing about the spot of the ball. I think they actually have it. I think Lilly is right. I think Greg Lilly is correct about the spotting of the ball. We declined the holding, so it should be just 15 yards from the previous spot. So they should only move it back 15 yards. Right now they've got it moved back 18 yards, which is illogical.
Yeah, so this is taking a little too long
quickly
here.
becoming reminiscent of last week.
I was just about to say that.
So it looks like they are going to move it now.
There's
It
just-
shouldn't be that close. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
So it looks like they're going to recount here. Should be at the 38. They're going to spot it.
So finally spotted correctly at the 34-yard line.
All just a punt. Thank you.
So now Benedictine's in a punt. It's actually Nick Turner punting for the Cadets. Forrest is back deep. And Saints got back there, almost blocked it. Not a good punt at all. Out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Great field position here for the Saints. They're in 40.
See the Saints respond.
Yeah, Gil Williamson.
Oh, that's an awful spot. That is 3 yards off.
That
They
is-
spotted the ball at the 38-yard line, but the punt went out at the 41. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, that's at least 3 yards.
I mean, that's not even close. This is Forrest on the carry, and nothing there. Only able to get about 2. Terry's in the game again at tight end. Seeing a lot of action today.
So Williamson started the first half 9 completions, 20 attempts, an interception, 117 yards, and 0 touchdowns. As long as a 42-yard pass that was to Nigel Green.
Yeah, Nigel Green and Will Tazzle have been receiving in on most of Williamson's passes. And that one's a handoff to Forrest, who's wrapped up and brought down in the backfield.
Loss of
So Saints could be facing a quick 3 and out depending on this third down play.
Yeah, this is huge here.
Third and 9. Cavanis in the backfield for the Saints. 3 wide receivers set. They'll fake it to Cavanis. Williamson rolls out left and looking deep for Green again into double coverage, and it's broken up. Nick Turner was back there for the Cadets.
So I don't know how many third downs we've seen. Third
Yeah,
and
going
long
deep.
is going deep.
Yeah. So Sears is on the punt. And it's another good one. And caught around the 27-yard line. That was Will Garvett on the fair catch. I feel like the majority of this game has been Benedictine offense versus St. Chris defense.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, the Saints just haven't been able to possess it very long, and it's making it hard on the defense. But it's been really impressive holding them to 7 points in the first half. And
Yeah. Especially an explosive quarterback, dual threat guy like Jay Wolfick is. That's a real testament to the Saints defense.
this is Stevie Walden in the backfield now for the Cadets. Nick Neighbors goes in motion. They gave it to Walden. And wrapped up again. Council is in there on the tackle. Moore was there initially. Council came in for help. Jeff Moore was named Prep League Player of the Year, and it's got to do with his field vision. I mean, there's no one else in the Prep League that can read offenses like Moore does. He's 3-year starter at linebacker. He directs the defense, gets the plays in from Coach Toon, and reads the game better than anybody else. This one is complete out to the right side, and Council brings him down. It was Tennyson on the reception. He'll be shy of the first down.
Nice awareness from Council right there. Get in there quick. Yeah, you're right about Jeff Moore. He's been the guy on this defense this season.
And teams don't want to run up the middle now because of Moore. I mean, if you know he's there, he'll find the running back and take him down. 3rd and 3. And a hard count. Someone jumped. We'll see who they call it on. If it is on the Saints, it will be a first down, but it's a false start on the Cadets. That'll back them up 5. They were trying to draw the Saints offside, but they end up jumping off themselves. So 3rd and 8 now. They'll fake the handoff to Dolan, and it's a slip screen to Dolan, but Jeff Moore reads it perfectly. That's what we were just talking about. His field vision is as good as it gets. Play recognition is second to none. Jeff Moore just read the screen, followed Dolan, and brings him down in the backfield. 4th down.
Awesome play. He's been here. He came out to play after a little bit of a slow week last week. Came to play today. Hayden Forrest back to return.
And Council almost, I think Council got a piece of that.
They're just going to let that run out. The Saints have a chance here.
So ball is out of bounds at the 38-yard line. I think Council got back there to deflect it. So again, great starting field position. We'll see what the Saints do with it. I mean, we said that earlier when Jeff Moore had an interception, setting them up at the 16-yard line, but that resulted in an interception. So see if the Saints can maybe get the ground game going here. We do see Hendrick in the backfield. They like running it with him. Terry comes in motion for a block, and this is Hendrick barreling down to the 30-yard line.
That's what I think we need to see more of. I think they just have to keep it on the ground.
And Eddie Jackson III is now walking with a limp. When you try to bring down Trenton Hendrick, it commonly results in injuries.
He's a beast.
Terry remains in at tight end. They'll give it to Hendrick again. And Hendrick gets close to the marker. See where they mark him down.
They got it. They don't move the chains.
Good for another Saints first down.
This is looking a lot better. They're now controlling the tempo. Hendrick had 2 great carries there. Gets the first down, moving the chains. And they'll keep him in. Developing this ground game is crucial to getting in the end zone here.
Terry in motion.
This is Hendrick again, but Cadets are all over at that time. That's Nick Neighbors there.
Carries again. This time for a gain of about 2 yards.
And the way the Saints defense is playing, I think I'd be okay with taking 3 points if you can get it here. You'd still be down by 1, but Saints defense is looking just great today. Terry comes in motion across, and they were trying to get it to him, but just out of his reach.
Looking to read Terry there. A little bit of a low ball, but
Send for beat Terry.
So it'll be 3rd and 9 on Benedictine's 26-yard line. It's too far to be kicking. That'd be a 43-yarder. And they'll give it to Hendrick. And Hendrick gets it down to around the 24-yard line. That would be a 41-yarder. So it brings up
Halfback draw to Hendrick.
4th and 7.
Gain of a couple.
we'll see what they do here.
On 4th down.
It's 4th down territory because it's too far to kick, but no point in punting this close. So Saints offense will stay on the field here. 4.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Trips out left for the Saints. Andre Green by himself. They'll bring Tazewell in motion. And they're looking for Wallace, but it's broken up. They had Wallace on a slant route, and Eddie Jackson III is there, breaking it up. Looks like they brought Tazewell in motion to get his defender out of the equation, maybe create space for Wallace, but unable to convert on that 4th down, and Cadets will take over again.
Back to the defense, like you were saying, this Benedictine team scored 50 plus against Trinity last week, so holding them to 7, that means something.
I've been even more impressed by the discipline by the Saints. I mean, Benedictine's been throwing a lot of late hits out here, but Saints have not retaliated. It's
Yeah,
been good discipline.
that tells a lot about the team.
And they'll fake it to Dolan. Wolfwick's looking to throw. He's going to air it out deep, and it's caught. Avail Aya again. Leon Houghton just brought it in, eventually brought down around the 10-yard line.
Yeah, that's too much.
And that's just, you can't have that.
Meehan is banged up.
That's twice now we've seen it. Avail Aya just got burned again. I think it was Nicholas Turner that got him last time, but this time it's Houghton. And that's what you just can't have. The Saints were giving up nothing on the ground, nothing short, but one slip up from your defensive back, and now Cadets are in the red zone.
Yeah, Jay Wolfick's like to throw it Meehan's way. And gotten some yards off it, so. That hurts.
And looks like, is that Cole McCoy? Can't see. Or is that John Jordan?
Looks like,
I think it's John Jordan, maybe.
I believe you're right.
So John Jordan will replace Avellea at corner. And this one is capped by a Wolfick. Nothing there. Sullivan, Hendrick, and Bay is down. He's able to get up. He'll wobble off to the sideline.
Garner Nelson will replace him.
Second and 9. Dolan in the backfield. They'll give it to him, but nothing there.
And that is Garner Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson's been great today. Haven't seen him a lot this season, but
Past 2 weeks, he's been great.
yeah, I mean, almost leading the team in tackles at halftime. He had 4, just one behind Hendrick. So 3rd and 10 after a 1-yard tackle for loss by Garnet Nelson. Wolfick will fake it, throw it to the end zone, and nothing there. They were trying John Jordan, who had just entered the game for the first time today, but that one's out of the end zone. Nice coverage there from Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan was playing his man well.
It's really hard coming into the game in the second half when you haven't been playing, jumping into that spot and preventing it. Nice job from him there. So Cadets are going to go for it. They could go up by 7, but instead they're going to go for it. This is Wolfick. They'll fake it to Dolan, and he's brought down in the backfield by Hendrick. Trenton Hendrick around the edge.
Trent Hendrick. What a play. And I would give him the turnover bell for that one.
That was an unbelievable move from Hendrick. I don't know if you saw it. Hendrick's around 200 pounds, but that is the most graceful move I've seen in a long time by a linebacker.
I've loved his play this season. He's great at getting in the quarterback.
Huge momentum shift by Hendrick. This is Williamson now. Complete to Andre Green outside and brought down after a gain of about 5. Nick Neighbors was there for the Cadets. That's such a huge play by Hendrick. I mean, that we can't talk about that enough. That was unreal. Came around the edge and then just destroys Wolfick in the backfield on 4th and 10. Williamson will throw over the middle and intended for Wallace, just out of his reach. Will Garbett was back there. Sent Wallace on a post route.
So 3rd and 5 here. This will be huge. Empty backfield.
Yeah, second snap already. They've not had a running back. And they tried Tazwell, and it
It's
isn't
a
a pass
flag.
interference. It was a quick 5-yard out by Will Tazwell, and they're going to be calling pass interference on Anthony Fisher. He was draped over Tazwell. And they do give it to him. It's on number 7, Anthony Fisher. He was the Cadets' emergency quarterback. Wolfick was out, Plagueman was out, so they turned to their defensive back against King William and Anthony Fisher. He had, I believe, 3 touchdowns on the ground and 100-some yards running against King William in Benedictine's 47 8-0 shutout. So Saints will convert on the first down, and 5 wide receivers in the game now. And they find Wallace quickly, and Wallace is going. Dolan is chasing down Wallace. He does get him. Brought down around the 23-yard line. But great throw and catch from Williamson to Wallace.
That's an awesome job by Wallace to evade that tackle and get a good amount of extra yardage. So we saw it last week. We haven't seen it this week yet, but there he is getting Wallace into the game. That's huge.
And timeout taken by Coach Greg Lilly from Benedictine. Need to talk some things over. That's a great play there from the Saints.
And the Saints crowd getting into it.
So on this drive, Saints have been going with an empty backfield, which is interesting, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the biggest game we've seen all day.
Saints just outside the red zone. 1st and 10.
So again, with that empty backfield, 5 wide receivers in the game. And quickly completed out to the left side to Nigel Green. And another flag comes in. Going to be late. I think it was number 11. That's Evan Curzone.
So yeah, the empty backfield. To do it once is something, but the whole drive,
They're really just exploiting the Cadets' weak secondary. Really, I mean, you've got to cover now. I guess you have to go probably dime, right? Because I mean, you got to at least be in the nickel or dime, because you got to cover 5 guys that are all faster than your linebackers. So that's a personal foul against number 11 from Benedictine. He got into it with right tackle Brian Bell.
Yeah, but I'm sure last year they were dropping 7 back into that secondary, so. Huge play here, 1st and goal.
And now Cavanas is in the backfield for the Saints. 3 wide receivers in the game. And they'll give it to Cavanas on a bit of a reverse. Pretty good gain there. Push out of bounds at the 5-yard line. So 2nd and goal from the Cadets 5.
Let's see. They got 3 running backs in here.
Yeah, could be seeing the Wildcat again. This is what we tried earlier in the red zone. We see more Cavanas, Forrest, and Hendrick all in the game now. Heavy set. And Forrest is going to keep it on the Wildcat. And he's close, reaching for the goal line. It looks like he's short by a few inches. They'll mark him down at the 1-yard line.
They got under a minute left here in the 3rd.
And Saints are going to hurry up. They want to keep Benedictine in the same package. Oh, it's a high snap.
Saints fell on it.
I'm not sure who got it. I think Cavanas might have gotten it. Brutal. Absolutely brutal.
That stings.
Saints hurry to the line on the 1-yard line. It's a high snap over the head of Forrest at the Wildcat. Thankfully, Cavanas is able to get back there. Good awareness from him. It'll fall on the fumble.
It's going to lose about 17 yards, though.
And now Sears is on to try to convert.
They're going to let this run out.
And looks like they're going to switch sides and then kick it. It's going to be about a 34-yarder. That's no gimme. I mean, that's
No, not at all.
especially with today's wind conditions. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I think it's the right decision. You got to go for it,
Yeah.
obviously.
This will be huge for Sewers. Biggest kicks of the season, if not the biggest.
That's just such a tough break, though. The Saints were really moving.
Yeah.
Had a great drive put together. Get all the way down to the 1-yard line. About to punch it in, and then a high snap. Lose about 16 yards on that.
Yeah, if we think about how that was set up, a huge reception from the Cadets. Get that sack from Garner Nelson, or Trent Hendrick, excuse me. And then just missed it.
So third quarter stats, Nigel Green and Tazwell and Wallace leading the Saints in receiving. Green has 4 receptions, 66 yards. Tazwell, 4 receptions for 36 yards. And then Wallace, 2 catches for 51 yards. Play is blown dead here. Williamson is 12 for 27, 1 interception, and 165 yards passing. Hendrick leads the Saints in rushing, 7 rushes for 25 yards. Antonio Kottman for the Cadets actually leads them in rushing. He's got 4 for 25. Dolan right behind him, 11 for 23. Seegers is now on for the field goal. And
Looks like it's good.
And a great kick from Jack Sewers shortens the lead to 1 for Benedictine.
That's huge.
Big kick from Jack Sewers.
Yeah, huge kick. Looked like Cadets stepped offside, but
They did. They jumped, but I don't think any of our guys moved, so
No.
it wouldn't be a neutral zone infraction. So now the Sewers are going to be on to kick this one back. They'll give the ball back to Wolfick. He's 8 for 11, 1 interception, 150 yards passing, and then he's got 1 touchdown on the ground.
yeah, so about 12 minutes left in regulation. This is a point game, 1-point game.
And both inside linebackers for St. Chris are leading them in tackles. Hendrick and Moore both have 8. They've been phenomenal today. And Hendrick with probably one of the biggest plays of the game, that 4th down sack.
Yeah, Hendrick, I don't know how many times we've seen it this season. Him getting back there. He's so athletic.
So Sewers kicks this one away, and thankfully into the end zone. We saw to start off the second half that he didn't get in the end zone, and they resulted in a 50-yard return for the Cadets by Tennyson. So they've been calling on the Saints defense all day. Need yet another stop from them here.
We're going to need the secondary to step up here.
Secondary's been pretty good, specifically me and Avellea. I mean, he's been burned twice. That's what led up both times, like 40-yard bombs. And it's going to be a delay of game penalty on the Cadets. Lack of urgency there from the Cadets offense. It's going to push him back 5. 1st and 15 to start their drive. This is Wolfick again. running around and maneuvering the pocket. And Sullivan put a hit on him, didn't go down, but eventually wrapped up. Filer got back there for the Saints, along with Jeff Moore. And now we see Matt Grant is giving safety help for VISAA. He's now going to have to go and cover his own guy now, though.
Yeah.
Looks like the Saints might have to be in man now. And wrapped up in the backfield. No gain.
And a 3rd and long. This
Filer
is
got back
huge.
there again.
Yeah. So a number of playmakers on this defense.
3rd and 14. Leon Houghton is on the near sideline. He's dangerous. Expect the Cadets to maybe go deep here. Instead, they'll throw a short screen to Dolan. Dolan has space, but he's wrapped up.
Jeff Moore.
To no surprise. Just no surprise. Moore always reads the slip screen. He read it on the previous drive and brought down Dolan before he could even catch it. And that time he catches Dolan from behind, trips him up, and is going to force a punt.
As Hayden Forrest trots back to return.
Forrest sets up at around the 30-yard line. Nick Turner is the punter for the Cadets. High kick. Forrest calls for the fair catch and brings it in at the 41-yard line. So manageable starting field position for the Saints. Only trailing by 1. At this point, need to continue that ground game with Hendrick.
I agree. That's their brightest spot in the offense today. Hayden Forrest in the backfield.
They'll fake it to Forrest, throw over the middle to Wallace, and flag comes in on Nick Turner.
Flag hits Wallace.
Wallace ran a post route, and too much contact for the referees. They throw the flag. Nick Turner and Henry Dolan were on the coverage.
Pass interference on the Cadets.
So that'll move the Saints up 15 yards. To Cadets 45. And they'll give it to Forrest now, but no blocking for him. No gain on the play for Forrest.
Hayden Forrest on the carry, no gain.
Saints taking a long huddle here.
Yeah, 10 seconds left in the play clock. They need to hurry to the line and get this snap off. And they get it off with 1 second. They'll give it to Forrest. Forrest tries to bounce outside, then cuts back upfield. And brought down just shy of the 40-yard line.
Hayden Forrest carries for a gain about 5 yards.
Great cut there by Forrest. Nabbed a couple feet extra yards. It'll be a 3rd and 5 here.
This will be interesting here. I mean, do you run it 3rd and 5? Ground game hasn't been great today, but as of late, the Saints have been able to develop a little bit of a ground game. And they'll fake it to Forrest and throw in the direction of Wallace, and it's brought in by Wallace.
Huge play.
That was Eddie Jackson the third on the coverage, but clear-cut height advantage over Eddie Jackson.
As Wallace was indicating, that boy is too small.
Wallace is listed around 6'5". Plays the 4 and the 5 in basketball. And looked like he was fighting for rebound position almost in that sense.
Gonna do trips out right here.
Forrest remains in the backfield. And Williamson airs it out deep.
He held him. He held him. That's a pass interference.
Going to be defensive holding.
A holding.
Pass is intended for Nigel Green. One out of bounds into the end zone, but it is going to be defensive holding on the Cadets. I believe it's Anthony Fisher that they'll be calling that one on.
So, yeah, a couple times here now this drive for the Cadets secondary. Hit with flags. It was a pass interference.
It'll be an automatic Saints first down.
So defensive holding will move the Saints up. It'll be a first down. So Saints have it in the red zone now. See what they do with it. Trips out right again. Same formation for the Saints. Williamson will look to throw. He throws it into the end zone for Wallace. And just off the hand of Wallace. Almost brought that in one-handed. Saints are going pass heavy here in the second half, trying to exploit that weak Cadet secondary. Williamson is 13 for 29, 180 yards and a pick up to this point.
Pressured there, and that ball is out. Intended for Dre.
Why is Dre always tripping?
Christian Dunn had a good pass rush for Benedictine, forcing Williamson to throw it away. So 3rd and 10. And quick throw to Nigel Green. Cuts back upfield. He's getting close to the marker.
He's stuffed, though.
I think he's just short. At this point, I don't know if you go for it or kick it. I mean, it's
half a yard.
Half a yard short.
Another questionable spot.
Yeah.
That looked like he got the forward progress. I would do a run here. But, oh, no, Sears on the.
So Sears will attempt the kick now. It's going to be about a 22-yarder. He's hit from 22 in the first quarter. And Sears misses it.
I don't know if that ball was.
I think it was too low. Maybe, I don't know.
It looked like somebody got a hand on it.
I can never tell. Whenever from the press box, whenever I see them kick it, it always looks like it goes through.
Yeah.
That's why I always wait until the officials signal, because I think the crowd thought they made it too. I heard someone just yell. I'm gonna send Chris Parents yell yes as the ball was kicked.
Sadly, it's not the case. So
that's rough. I mean, you piece together a nice drive, get all the way down to the 5-yard line, and you can't convert on a short field goal. So still trailing by 1. So calling on the Saints defense again. Need another stop, as has been the case all day today. Leon Houghton and Nick Turner just switch sides. Looks like they want a mismatch with Turner and Avellea, but they'll run it nevertheless. That one is to Cotman again. Haven't seen him much in the second half.
No, he looked good in the first half when he was filling in. They will be just short here. Nope, they're moving the chains. Looked like he was down.
Jeff Moore has 11 tackles right now. Just
That's
playing out of
huge.
his mind.
Wow. Final game of his high school career, along with the other 20-some seniors on this team.
And this is Wolfick. This is where he's dangerous. Great tackle from Hayden Forrest. Wolfick just kept that one up the middle, took off, and that's a crucial tackle from Hayden Forrest. You don't want to let Wolfick get in an open space. But Wolfick moves the chains. It really is remarkable to see his get-off speed. I mean,
It's
he
crazy,
goes from
yeah.
standing still to just taking off. Leon Houghton by himself on the close sideline. And they'll give it to Dolan up the middle. And Dolan is upended after about 2 yards.
Like Joe Sullivan, along with Trent Hendrick, got in there.
So 2nd and 7 now. Neighbors is in the game for the Cadets. And yet again, Leon Houghton and Nick Turner switch sides. I'm not sure if they're trying to exploit a matchup or that one goes for nothing. Cadets put in Walden. He's their 3rd string running back. Has only seen 3 carries up to this point. And a huge 3rd down here now for the Saints. Crowd is going crazy here at Knowles Field.
Great atmosphere here today.
3rd and 6. Play clock is diminishing. Snap is off. They'll fake it to Dolan, and Wolfick keeps it. And Wolfick is still going. Beats Council. Going towards the end zone. In.
And there he is. Jay Wolfick.
We mentioned at the beginning of the game that the X factor in today's game was how well can you contain Jay Wolfick. Saints have done a great job up to this point. Run the same read option there. Fake it to Dolan, and Wolfick just takes off. That's a 6-play, 80-yard drive from the Cadets. Capped off by the extra point.
And that'll put the Saints down 8. Just under 4 minutes.
Yeah, still a 1-score game. It's not over yet, but Saints really needed to stop there. Wolfick is just such an incredible athlete. I mean, just keeps it and takes off.
Yeah, that acceleration is something else.
So one last drive, it all comes down to this.
Saints going to have Nico Skavanis and Hayden Forrest back to return.
Crowd certainly hasn't given up on their team.
No, not at all.
Good thing is the Saints have enough time, or if they want to run it a little bit, they can.
Mm-hmm.
3 minutes and 44 seconds remaining.
And they have 3 timeouts.
And another squib kick. And this one is fielded by Forrest at the 15. And Forrest refusing to go down. And he's brought down just past the 30 at the 33-yard line. So trips out left for the Saints. Hendrick is in the backfield. So could potentially be seeing some ground and pound here from the Saints. Williamson rolls out left. Sidearms it for Tazewell. And that's a great throw from Gil Williamson. She hit Tazewell right in the chest. That was one of the best throws I've seen from Williamson all season. He was running left, throws across his body.
Yeah.
Other side of the field, he finds Tazewell, but just not going to bring it in.
Pat Mahomes-esque pass there.
Yeah, exactly. It was that Phillip Rivers, Pat Mahomes gunslinger sidearm from Williamson there. 2nd and 10. Williamson rolls out left again, trying to evade the pressure, tosses it up, and it's brought in by Green. No, he bobbles it, and now it's picked off. There's been multiple whistles prior to that, and then a late flag. 2 late flags come in.
We're going to get some extracurriculars here. It might be on the push on Nigel Green. Flags all over the field.
I can't even comprehend what just happened. There were whistles while the ball was in play. Williamson was under pressure, threw it up to Nigel Green, who bobbled it and was picked off by the Cadets. It was John McCray, Cadets middle linebacker, on the interception. So they're going to claim that Williamson was down prior to throwing it, but
not sure.
it didn't look close. I mean, maybe his left knee was down. I'm not sure. I thought he got it off.
I thought he was fully upright.
But regardless of how they rule the play, the personal foul is still going to come into question here. One of the Cadets shoved Nigel Green. And that's what the 2 flags down at midfield are for. So it's unsportsmanlike conduct on Benedictine.
Yet again.
Greg Lilly is infuriated. I mean, could you imagine how remarkable that would be if the Saints end up gaining yards off of that? About to go from an interception to, I mean, you lost yards in the sack, but I think net, you might actually move the ball up.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm still confused how that was a sack, to be honest.
So I think they gained a yard. They placed the ball at 35. So that's a 2-yard gain.
Wow. So it's going to be 3rd down and about 7 after a wild turn of events.
Snap is to Williamson. They'll give it to Hendrick, but he's brought down immediately. There's no blocking. Malik James came around the left side, brought down Hendrick. So Saints try to run it on 3rd and 8, get nothing. I understand the play call because, I mean, you got to get some yards on 3rd down, assuming you're going to go for it on 4th. so it made sense, but just no blocking for Hendrick. Two minutes and 54 seconds remaining here at Knowles Field. And officials have a quick meeting.
So, I believe Lance Cleland is arguing for an automatic first down.
I'm not sure what his argument would be. Cleland, I think, thought it was second down. I think he's arguing to the ref right now that it was second down, but that's not a case he's going to win. I mean, that really explains why he ran it. I think he genuinely thought it was second down, so that's why he ran the ball. But then he saw the marker at fourth down. Cadets.
Wow.
And Cullen used a timeout, too, so he's going to go for it. 4th and 8, 2 minutes and 52 seconds remaining here. Some late game dramatics.
Certainly.
Hendrick in the backfield for the Saints, 4 wide receiver set. Williamson drops back, looking for Nigel Green, and it's caught. First down. Saints convert on
That's
4th and
it.
8. It was a simple button hook route from Nigel Green. He's been impressive today.
And Nigel Green extends the Saints' hopes at a return.
That was his 6th catch. Now has 86 yards on the day. Williamson again throws to Green. Quick 5-yard out. Pushed out of bounds at the 48-yard line. And the Saints hurry to the line. They want to keep the Cadets in the same defense. This is Williamson again throwing. Pass is complete to Tazwell, and he's brought down after about a gain of 3.
Get a couple yards there.
Strong hands there from Will Tazwell. Defender was all over him. So 3rd and 2 now. One minute and 55 seconds remaining. Clock is running. And they give it to Hendrick, and no blocking. Absolutely no blocking. Christian Dunn's back there. Malik James is back there. A plethora of Cadets linemen hit Hendrick before he even has the ball.
And yet another 4th down in the Saints' way.
It's 4th and short this time. 4th and 2 after no gain from Hendrick. He'll remain in the game. And this is the game here. This last play is the game. Williamson drops back, throws, incomplete. Pass is intended for Wallace.
A minute left.
I mean, not necessarily over for sure, but Saints do have 2 timeouts. 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining. If they do stop him, they could get the ball back maybe with 10 seconds left, but A first down seals the game. This is Dolan bouncing outside, cutting up field. Counselor was there to touch him down.
On the carry, gain about 4.
You just giving up on him?
And Dolan gets 4 or 5 on that carry. It'll be 2nd and 5 now for the Cadets. Clock is running. Cleveland's not going to use his timeouts.
Clock bleeds down under 40. 2nd and 6.
And this is Dolan again, and he's got enough for the first down. That's the game.
Dolan on the carry, the cadet first down.
Thank you for tuning in.
So Lance Cleveland just called timeout. He can't win. I mean,
Yeah, Neil will seal it. So
it's going to be a victory formation from the Cadets, and that's probably going to seal the game here. Saints fought hard. It came down to the wire.
that Wolfick touchdown run.
Wolfick takes a knee, and Lance Cullen calls another timeout.
Yeah, not sure what this is.
We'll stay on the air for now. I just don't understand. I mean, they can just knee the ball again, and the game's over.
So the Saints have 0 timeouts left.
I mean, it is impossible to win at this point. You can't.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the timeouts are for.
Wolfick was 9 for 12, 160 yards and interception. Both touchdowns courtesy of his ground game today.
Excuse me, I apologize.
And that'll do it here at Knowles Field. Final score, Benedictine 14, St. Christopher 6. Benedictiners, the VISAA state champions. Thanks for joining us.